Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. Today, it's a little early, okay, I admit that, but today we are talking through my autumn TBR because I am so excited for every single one of these books here. I want to read all of them so badly that I'm kind of wishing it was autumn right now, but I don't want to wish time away and I still have some books that are like a bit summery that I want to read. So yes, we're just staring longingly at this pile in front of me of all the books I want to read this autumn. So I thought I would talk you through those books, and I have broken them down into categories. So first off, we have the fantasy category. We have, I think this counts as fantasy, Good Omens by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman. I mean, it's about there's angels and demons. I'm counting it as fantasy, okay? But so I really want to watch the TV show with David Tennant and is it Michael Sheenan? There's loads with a similar name. There's loads of people, I'm fairly sure it's Michael Sheenan. I'm really sorry if I'm wrong. And my friend recently read this and said it was really good, but I want to read it before I watch the TV show, and I just feel like this is the perfect vibes. I know Neil Gaiman, and I don't know about Terry Pratchett, maybe him too. I know Neil Gaiman has had some controversy, but the way I see it is separate art from the artist. Okay, a lot of artists over the years have been dodgy, but I really want to read this. Mostly because I want to watch the TV show, but also just because I've heard it's really good. I mean, it has had so much praise. When did this originally come out? It was originally published in 1990, and people are still talking about it, and it's had a TV adaptation. So listen, it can't not be good, and my friend said it's really funny. So next up, I want to read Belladonna, and if I like it, then Wisteria and Foxglove. Don't know which way around those go, but yeah, by Adam and Grace. I believe this is a YA, but it's more of like a dark fantasy about this girl who does she fall in love with death? I want to say. I think people around her die, and she keeps meeting death that way. I don't know. I don't know a lot about it. I'm fairly sure it's a YA, so I'm a little bit dubious. But because it's like a dark fantasy and it involves death, I'm just very interested. I feel like it could be a YA that I could get on board with. So we'll see. Okay, I also really want to read When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker because I want to read it now. I bought this ages ago, but the next book comes out, I think I want to say it's October, maybe September. I think it's October though. And so I want to know if I like it so that I can go straight into the next one if I do. This book, when I first bought it, I was like, oh my god, it's so big, it's a massive book. And then when I had a look at how many pages it is, it's not even 600 pages. I'm like, why have I been so intimidated by this book? It's not as big as I thought it was. Mine did come slightly damaged. The actual, under the dust jacket, the spines bent, which is a shame. And also the dust jacket is a bit damaged as well, which is heartbreaking. But yes, this came out last year, and obviously I've kind of fallen in love with the whole dragon fantasy concept because of Fourth Wing, and this is also got dragons. As far as I'm aware, I think there's something, I want to say, to do with, is it time zones or how time moves, does lateral something? I heard someone try and explain that. I don't know if it's a magic system. What is it that it was? I can't remember now because it was last year that I watched this TikTok that was trying to explain something to me. It was very confusing. So I'm going into this knowing I'm probably going to be very confused, but interested anyway, because we have an assassin, which is giving front class, and we have dragons, which is giving Fourth Wing. Or Aragon. Never read Aragon. Did watch the movie years ago. So we'll see. We'll see if I like it. I'm open to it, but I'm also open to knowing I might be confused with a lot of what happens in this book, and that is fine if that is the case. But I'm intrigued, so I'm hoping I like it, because then, like I say, I can go straight into the next one if I do. Okay, now we'll go into fiction with fantasy elements. That's the best way I could describe it. Fiction with fantasy elements. Okay. We've got The Rainfall Market by Yu Yongguan. This is a Korean translated fiction about this market that sort of appears one day on a random monsoon day. This building appears, and once you go inside, you can pick whatever life you decide is your ideal life. But if you don't pick That by, what was it? Oh, she has 1 week to pick the perfect life and find true happiness. If she doesn't find her dream life, then she's trapped inside the market forever. So I think we're just following one girl in this, which is quite nice. And it's a nice, short, easy read. And like I say, because the market just sort of comes out of nowhere and then you can get trapped inside it. It's got like a little bit of a fantasy element / magical realism, but it is mostly just a regular fiction book. So I've heard good things about this and I'm excited to get into it. And because it's called The Rainfall Market, I just feel, and like the cover just looks very autumnal. I have been waiting to read this in autumn specifically. So, okay, the next book in this category I have owned for well over a year, and that is Wayward by Amelia Hart, and I do have the beautiful sprayed edge edition from Waterstones. This follows witches, so it is like that fantasy, but it feels more like real life rather than fantastical. Full fantasy, like high fantasy world. I think it's like the real world but with witches, and we're following 3 different women over 3 different timelines. So we've got 2019, 1942 and 1619. So fingers crossed this is good. She actually also just released a book this year called The Sirens, which sounds interesting as well. So if I like her writing in this, I'll probably pick that book up as well. Okay, the next category is cozy fantasy romance. So one of these I don't actually know if it is fantasy. We're saying fantasy elements in a romance and it's cozy. That's kind of this category. First off, we have The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I really want to read this on a really cozy, like rainy day. I just feel like that's going to be the best day of time to read this. I'm sure there is like a magical element to it. Again, I feel like it's slightly more magical realism, but it is a romance set in a circus. I don't know, I feel like the vibe of this one, it's giving, because it seems like a proper traditional circus, but there's clearly something deeper going on. It just says the circus arrives without warning. I'm intrigued. I've been really wanting to read this since last year. I didn't get around to it and I haven't wanted to read it. Not in autumn or winter. Next we have The Honey Witch by Sydney J. Shields. This one is, I believe, a sapphic romance. We've got a witch called Marigold, and then we have a skeptic called Lottie. Which I had a ballet teacher, like Lottie is like a nickname for Charlotte, and I had a ballet teacher when I was younger, always called me Lottie. I hate that name, I'm sorry. Like for me, I don't want to be called Lottie. We read a book, there's a Jacqueline Wilson book called The Lottie Project, which I did read, but we also read it in school. Like we had like an hour each week where we read a book, like the teacher read us a book, and they chose a Lottie Project, and it was just like, no one, please don't call me Lottie. It does not suit me. Good book though, I enjoyed that one at the time. Anyway, so we've got Marigold, who is a witch, and we have Lottie, who is a skeptic, and I think it's just basically Marigold wanting to prove to Lottie that magic is real, and they fall in love in the meantime. So it just sounds like a really cozy, witchy book. So perfect, probably for October, let's be real. This next one I'm definitely going to be reading out in October, and I'm hoping it gives me the same feeling that the X-Hex and the Kiss Kiss gave me, and that is Payback's a Witch by Lana Harper. This one is just like a witchy romance. I read the X-Hex and the Kiss Kiss in 2023, and they were so, like, the vibes were immaculate. Like I might reread the X-Hex this year, to be honest, because just the Halloween loving town, just everything about it, it was perfect. It was so good for the vibe. And like, just the atmosphere, I loved it. Last year I read Hex in the City, and it wasn't it, to be honest. I do have the other one, Hex Appeal, and there's also Hex and Hexability, which I will not be getting. To be honest, I don't know whether I'm going to read. It was fine, I just wasn't that invested. I'm hoping this is going to be better. Is this one sapphic? Oh, Emily Henry's all on the front, I just realised. Okay, so we've got Emmy, who hasn't been home to this magical town that she's from in a long time. So her power's kind of dwindling a little bit. So she does go back. And when she's there, she meets this guy who it turns out is also dating this other girl. And they plot to get revenge. I'm hoping these 2 girls get together. Okay, if this is sapphic, this is going to make all my dreams come true. Because I haven't read I was about to say I haven't read it. This is also a sapphic witchy romance, but I haven't read it yet. Oh, these are, I really hope I like both of these because I do have a sapphic romance. I need more. I read the, whatever this series is called. Delana Green Doesn't Care, Ashford Parker Doesn't Fail, and Iris Kelly Doesn't Date, and I really like those. So if you have any other sapphic romance recommendations, let me know. But that's, I think Payback to the Witch is going to be sapphic, and if the, oh, I love that idea of like this guy two-timing these two girls and the two girls get together instead. Oh, I love that idea. Anyway, next one is The Baby Dragon Cafe by A.T. Qureshi. This one, I've heard some not so great things about this. I've heard it compared to the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, which I DNF'd because it was fine, it was all good. Lovely autumnal vibes, don't get me wrong. It just wasn't good. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. And I've heard this is similar, but it's got baby dragons and they roast the coffee beans. I'm hoping I like this. And then the next one's gonna be the Baby Dragon Bakery, and then after that it's gonna be the Baby Dragon Bookshop. Come on. The cover for the Baby Dragon Bakery is really cute as well. It's like pink. So we'll see. But if I don't like it, I'm not going to continue because there's too many other books to read. But I'm really hoping I do like it so I can continue. Even if it's just a really cute, easy palette cleanser type book that is fun and enjoyable, I'll take it. It's just as long as it's better than the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. Because all of those covers are so cute. Do not get me wrong. I just will not read them because they are just dropping them every like 3 months. And I'm sorry, none of them can be good. Like there's been no time put into them. It just feels a bit oversaturated. I don't know. Anyway. So we're moving on from the fantasy. Regular romance, I just have one book, and I don't even know if this really is even autumnal vibes. It's kind of giving me autumnal vibes, and that is Risky Business. I don't know why, whiskey just feels autumnal. And then there's a lot of browns on the, and like auburns on the cover. There's also a lot of purple, which is giving spring, but it's also set in Scotland, so God knows. But my friend read this and apparently she really enjoyed it. It's the first book in a trilogy. I haven't heard anything about a second one yet. Oh, I've heard a little bit, but I don't know much about it. And I think this is Elliot Fletcher's debut novel, maybe. It was published independently, and this one's, it's just been traditionally published. I say just been, it was 2023. Self-published in 2023, and then HarperCollins published it in 2024. Yeah, this is basically, it's a grumpy sunshine. She's a Hollywood actress. He's just a guy from, he's just a grumpy Scottish man. So it just sounds like it's going to be quite fun. Dark academia / dark romancy. I've only got one in person. I've got a list on my phone that I've been reading off this whole time. So the first one is An Education in Malice by S.T. Gibson. I think this is also possibly sapphic. We've got Laura and Carmilla, and then one of the professors has like a weird like obsession with Carmilla, but I think Carmilla and Laura start as rivals, like academic rivals, maybe become lovers. That's what I'm thinking, not entirely sure. But I really liked Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson. I read that last autumn, so yeah. It also on the top it says love is a sacrifice, one of us was always going to bleed for the other. And it's set, obviously, like I said, it is a dark academia. It is set in a college setting. I also really want to read Nocticadia this year and Anathema. I think they're both by Kerry Lake. I don't know if there's like an order to them, but they're being traditionally published. I've seen them on the Waterstones website for like new release paperbacks that's going to be coming. So yeah, we will see. But I really want to read them both. Nocticadia is a dark academia. I think Anathema is just maybe dark romance. I don't know if it's academia, but I know Nocticadia is a dark academia, and it's like professor student. It's giving Gothicana, but better. A lot of people have said it's like the better version of Gothicana, and I did really quite like that book actually. I think I gave it a 4 stars maybe it was something about 3.5, but I think I gave it a 4. I can't remember. Yeah, Anathema as well by Kerry Lake. Heard a lot about that one. Also, Bone Island. I read Hollow Heathens last year, and Bone Island is the next one in that series, so I want to read it, but I've been waiting until autumn to get to it because I think it's probably going to give the similar vibes. I really liked Hollow Heathens as well. That was a really good, dark, gothic, spooky romance. It had such a good atmosphere. I felt like I was in a foggy forest the whole time. It was, I'm hoping it gives me the same vibes. And then the final one is a dark romance. It's coming out, I think, in October, could be September. I'm getting October and September mixed up for a lot of books. Taurus Season by Bryn Weaver. Obviously I read the Ruinous Love trilogy, finished that this year, and I really enjoyed that. She's got another series. I have the first one saved on my Kindle, A Shadow in the Reaping. I think that's another series that she wrote before the Ruinous Love trilogy, so I would like to maybe get onto that as well at some point. But Taurus Season looks so good. I mean, just look at that cover. I mean, come on, it looks so Halloweeny and spooky. I love it. Oh, it comes out on the 23rd of September, so perfectly in time for spooky season. So I'm really looking forward to that one. We have 2 regular Dark Academias that I don't own yet, but I will buy them at some point. And so the 2 that I want to read are Bunny by Mona Awad and We Were Villains by ML Rio, because so I read The Secret History last year, and I've heard If We Were Villains is like the Shakespeare version of that. It's very similar. I think maybe they're in conversation, I'm not entirely sure, or it's just like that same like Saltburn vibe of college kids just doing really weird shit because they're rich, but this time with Shakespeare. Because I did like The Secret History. I do feel like it was slightly too intellectual for me, because I think, right, I read for fun. I do want to also read as like an intellectual thing, don't get me wrong, but right now I read for my mental health and for fun and to just be out of my head, and that is completely okay. So I feel like I didn't get as much out of The Secret History as I could have, but I did enjoy it, and I listened to a lot of the audiobook, and that's actually narrated by Donna Tartt. So it gave a really good, again, I felt like I was in this massive like gothic looking building in the middle of foggy forest. That's how I felt when I was listening to it / reading it. So I'm hoping If We Were Villains is going to be like give me that same vibe, but hopefully I'll be able to just take it in better. I don't know, we'll see. I want to give it a go. And Bunny by Mona Awad, I've heard it is like a dark academia. You've got this like secret society of girls that call each other Bunny, so they're referred to as the Bunnies. And I think from what I gather, it's just so messed up in so many ways and just so weird. And I'm really interested, and it's got a pink cover, so it's one of those books where I'm just really intrigued and I want to know what happens. So I'm hoping to get around to that this year as well. Okay, the last category, we have 2 books for it, and that is like mystery / thriller. I don't know what to like class these 2 as. They're more mysteries, I think. They're kind of like a mystery literary fiction. They're not like, I wouldn't say they're thrillers necessarily. The first one is The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. I've just bought this. I wanted to read it when everyone was talking about it, but I didn't want to buy the hardcover, and the paperback just came out. This one, it's like a mystery in this, I want to say like a small town. This family went missing, and I just think, so this is a literary thriller that will leave you gasping for air, so this is making me think thriller. But from what I've heard people talk about it, there's a lot more of just like a regular fiction aspect to it, but there is the overall arching mystery of what happened to these kids. Yeah, I just think a mystery is like perfect for autumn. And I do want to read more genres than I currently do, so fingers crossed. I've heard good things about this book, fingers crossed, I do really like it. And the other one is, the difference in these 2 books, we have the brickiest non-floppy book ever to Lovely Flop. That's so much more comfortable to hold. Anyway, The Unmaking of June Farrow by Adrian Young. I've heard a lot about this book. This one, again, it's more like maybe this one's a small town mystery, that one's just the family one. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. This one is definitely a small town mystery. I think there's more to it as well. There's something about, I think there's a bit of a romance in the background of this, because it does say star-crossed love on the back. But a lot of people have raved about this book. I just want to get around to this. Again, like I say, just to mix it up a bit, read something that's a bit of a different genre and broaden my literary horizons, because at the moment, I'm not super bothered about just regular contemporary romance. Okay, I don't know what it is, I'm just not in the mood for that at all. Hence why there's only one regular romance on this whole pile. I'm very much in a fantasy mood, but I'm also, I don't know, I'm wanting to just switch up a bit. So I think I've got 4 books that's out of my comfort zone, being the 2 dark academias and these 2 mysteries. And I feel like a mystery is better than a thriller for me, because I think a thriller I just get myself freaked out, but a mystery is interesting, it keeps you gripped. So we'll find out. We'll find out if I read them and if I enjoy them. So anyway, those are, I think that's 18 books I mentioned that I want to read in autumn. So for 3 months, and that's 18 books mentioned, I feel like it's doable. We will see. But I'm telling you now, Wayward had better have been read by the end of this year, or I swear to God, I need to be put in book jail, because it's ridiculous how long I've had that book and been interested in wanting to read it and haven't read it. So yeah, anyway, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what books you are looking forward to reading during this fall autumn period in the comments down below, because maybe I'll take a few suggestions. Maybe there's a few that I need to read. With that, I will see you in the next video. Bye!